And
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Football Analytics and Rad Show. Uh, as the football season comes to an end, we are back with even more drama from the I League, and it's sort of ironic that we kind of predicted this few episodes back. I think this continuous series we are doing, and we've got some recent updates from some insider sources regarding like certain developments that is going to happen towards the start of the ISL season, which is set to be in early week of September, which we also somewhat predicted. So, yeah, coming to this thing. So, as you all know, till now the winner of I League has not been announced yet, and as we predicted earlier, from the sources that we are getting, they are going to announce two teams to get promoted into the ISL, and this is not just purely based on both teams claiming to be champions, but certain developments that is happening with the bottom teams in the ISL right now. So Elijah, would you like to carry over? I think you were.
okay, so again, this till the news gets confirmed, all of this is mere speculation, and we can call it rumors. So we might be blamed of spreading unsubstantiated rumors, but the news is that yes, both teams will be promoted, and the reason for that is, how should I say, it's like a domino effect, because one of the teams that is bottom in the league, Mohammaden, might not be playing the upcoming season of the ISL. One is obviously because of the bad performance, and second is that they do not have enough money. Apparently they are in a deficit, or should I say they are under a debt of some 60 to 100 crores, which is a lot of money. And the owners or the investors or whatever, so apparently it's some kind of a collaboration between two entities to own the club or run the club or whatever. And the richer owners, whatever money they're putting into the club, are the investment into the club, have been considering it as an loan kind of a thing to the club, which means that they have to repay it back. So it's not like the club is broke. It's just that they don't have money to use for their footballing activities. And because of this, we might have one team less. So right now, I don't know what you have, 13 teams or something. One team less would be 12.
Yeah.
And like Jittu had said in one of our first videos when he made this wild prediction without having the news, which is, I should say, revolutionary thinking of it that way. Apparently people in the circles and the know-how have been talking about this for quite some time, and the news on the street is that this is what is going to happen. Again, we cannot confirm it because then nobody knows till it's officially announced.
Yeah.
And how should I say this? It's good in one way that we have teams that are wanting to fight be there, but again, sad for Mohammaden for whatever the financial issues are. But it also, I think, makes the owners take responsibility for the clubs that they are owning, because how should I say this? You can't just buy a club, get them promoted, and then spend mad money for whatever reason and suddenly become broke. At least in European football, they have something called administration. In India, if you're broke, you're just out of business.
Yeah.
The club just ceases to exist. They'll shut down all their facilities. All their players are left out on the streets without a job, without a contract. So in one way, I think it's good that responsibility is being forced on the people who are supposed to take responsibility. Then another way, it's bad because Mohammaden is also a legacy club, just like your Mohun Bagan, just like your East Bengal FC and all the other legacy clubs. The other thing is, we still do not have an I-League winner. And there are the two teams who are claiming to be the winners are likely to be promoted based on the news. But the problem with that is, next year what will you do? Next year also someone will file a case saying there was some problem in some game because of which, let's say the next season also becomes this close.
Yeah.
They'll also come and say, okay, this did not happen, that did not happen, so we also have a right.
Yeah.
They'll file a case in the High Court, and then it'll go to Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Then Supreme Court will give a judgment, and they'll say we are referring it to CAS.
Yeah.
And again the same saga will continue.
Yeah.
So and knowing how our footballing federation does not have that much control over the actual things that are happening in the world, I don't know how they are going to manage something like that if it comes up next year. So doing it this year might set a dangerous precedent to what is going to happen in the future for promotions into the ISL.
Yeah.
But they actually did say that ISL was going to be a 20 league or an 18 league team by 2024 2025, which has not happened yet.
Yeah.
So this could be one of their ways, like Jittu had said in one of those videos, that this could be one of their ways to get there faster. But again, either have a proper promotion playoffs to the top 3 teams, or the first team qualifies and the next 2 teams, they'll have a promotion playoff like it is there in many other leagues around the world, or don't do this at all. That is one problem. Second problem is, without having a winner, how are you getting the promotions? You can't declare both of them winners. I don't think anyone has ever shared a league title. What is the point of playing so many games over the course of one whole season if you're going to declare joint winners? That is stupidity. Stupidity of the highest order.
Yeah.
And see, again, Inter Kashi's owners are a big-ish group, and I think they own clubs in multiple different leagues across different countries or continents or whatever. So of course, like Jitu said, they can't disappoint or make the owners of multi-millionaire owners of Inter Kashi unhappy, which is also the truth. Already we have the developing and still not resolved situation of no one wanting to run the league next year, because if FSDL is not there, nobody is going to pay the money. I have talked to so many people.
Yeah.
Everybody says if FSDL is not putting in money, no one is coming for the league. And if no one is going to come for the league, I don't think AIFF has the resources to run it, or the dedication to run it, or anything else to run it. That league is only running because Reliance put in money for it.
Fair enough.
So I don't know what is going to happen. Already there is so much problem about the existence of the league and if it will happen next year. And then there are random new volcanoes like this erupting here and there. And again, if at all this happens, that Mohammaden cannot compete in next year's ISL, what happens to that club? Will they be demoted? Or what tier will they play in? If they do not have the money to play in the ISL, will they have money to play in the I-League? Because even I-League players are quite well paid. Then where will they play? Will they play in I-League 2? Or will they play in their local league? What happens to that club? There is still no clarity on that. And if at all I get any information from somebody who knows this, I will try and get as much information as I can, and I will convey it to all of you. I don't know, Jitu, what do you think? What will happen to Mohammaden? We have covered this story so far. And his the internet conspiracy theory turns out is most likely coming true. So kudos to Jitu for that. He's a visionary, journalist or whatever. I don't know how you got that idea, because the first time you spoke of it was the first time I heard of it. And like, damn, that makes sense. And apparently that is most likely what is going to happen. So what? Angel Gabriel came down and told you, fear not, this is what is going to happen.
So I think what is going to happen is like another news I think it's spreading is Hyderabad is shifting to Delhi.
We'll get to that. That's our next point.
So we put that in. So now we are like one team is there. So that team is not going from the league. It's just changing location. So number of teams will remain the same. Now the case of Mohammaden, I have a feeling that they might get demoted to I-League. Or it depends on how severe. Like I don't know if they have any financial like fair play violations. Like according to the domestic listing, like regarding to this thing, but there's a high chance because they actually spent a lot and didn't produce much. And so it depends on how much punishment, like severity, if they have any court cases coming, or if it's just because they are unable to run the club in the top division, they might go down to I-League. If it's like severe punishments, they might go all the way down to the bottom, like in the state league. It's currently
finish.
Currently the reserve team is competing, so they might go in there all the way down. It's a very big like slope down from how far quickly they came up. And so that then it makes sense, because suddenly, like all of a sudden, instead of having more teams this year, they'll have like less teams, like 12 teams there's only possibility of 12 teams, so they'll have a chance of a shorter season, which means they might have to modify the Federation Cup, so-called, which they are going to revive, and the Duran Cup formats also, so that the minimum number of games that is required to play in continental competition for whoever finishes the champion, 27 games, can be met. So what this again points towards that both teams getting promoted. So now the problem is, how will the rest of the league react to it? So that was
Exactly. See, that is the other issue that we have not even thought
we
about
haven't
yet.
thought about how is the other teams reacting to it. What is going on there? Are they going to find some negotiating terms there? So it's very uncertain. At this point, I won't even surprise. We only get something regarding this from AFF towards the start of the ISL, or let's say start of the Durand Cup. So we don't know yet. So Durand Cup, as you know, I think all ISL teams have to participate. And although now again certain recent developments are telling that Durand Cup is not going to be the starting of the ISL, it's going to be the Federation Cup that's going to start, just to bring in more interest to the competition, because most of the time I think the recent Super Cup, it was considered a failure in terms of clubs taking it seriously and fans taking it seriously, even despite having a continental slot. If you look at the likes of Mohan Bagan itself, you will understand. So if you have something in the beginning of the season, the clubs might field their full 11, and something like Durand Cup in the end of the season, like since it does not carry much, let's say, continental prestige, it's okay. It doesn't matter. I mean, in the end, I think the Federation Cup is the main competition for it, and Durand Cup is just to add the number of official matches towards the end. So yeah, I'm not going further into that. So we have no clarity as of now yet. I don't think I'm not expecting much from AFF as of now, because they've been very silent about it, and then they're very sporadic about when they are going to answer all these things. So hopefully some solution comes up, and hopefully it doesn't get into FIFA's wind and we get banned or something like that. That's definitely going like completely even more like as if we are going in a steep down, we'll be going into a vertical fall from that. So,
Free fall.
Yeah.
Again, see, I don't even believe if AIFF even has the answers to stuff like this.
Yeah.
Because this is unprecedented, and judging by how poorly football has been run so far in the country,
Yeah.
I don't know how they are going to react. And because if you think about, let's take the Premier League as a good example.
Yeah.
And that's the most widely studied one, so we have enough information available about it.
Yeah.
If a club does not have enough money,
Yeah.
they go into administration and they give them money and all of that. But the problem that they have realized is that clubs who spend a lot while coming up the ladder, when they climb up the ladder, and they cannot sustain the same level of spending or whatever else when they reach the top level.
Yeah.
So if a club cannot do that, or if let's say a club is able to do that and they climb up, when you get to the Premier League, you get a lot of money. And there's the same thing I think happens with the I-League. I mean, the clubs don't get a lot of money in India anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying their reach and their whatever else, when they climb up to ISL is a lot. And when they go down to the I-League, the amount of attention they get might not be as much.
Yeah.
So what happens in the Premier League is they have something called parachute payments. So for 3 years after they get demoted or they get relegated to the championship, what happens is they get about, 60% of the money they were getting in the Premier League in their first year. Next year it goes down to 25-30% and something like that. So they get a certain amount of money so they can invest or they can maintain the same level of spending or the wages that they pay their players, because wages in the Premier League will definitely be a little bit higher and a little bit different than wages in the championship. So the same thing applies to a large extent to the ISL and I-League.
Yeah.
Yes, I-League players are also very well paid.
Yeah.
But ISL players are better paid as far as I know.
Yeah.
Okay. So when Mohammedan spend a lot to climb up and they're not able to sustain it there, or for whatever reason they're coming down now, if they cannot pay the salaries of their players, they will definitely go down because they will lose their players.
Yeah.
And how far they will go, that is another thing. We do not have these parachute payments kind of a thing because we don't even know how much the clubs are getting paid properly. Once that happens, okay, so they don't get paid, they can't sustain in the I-League. Okay, will they play in the I-League too? Maybe they don't even have money for that. Or maybe if they can, and somehow their owners spend again, let's say for whatever reason their owners spend again push them back to the ISL, and something like this happens again. What are the safeguards or the fail-safes in place to make sure stuff like this doesn't keep happening? Hyderabad FC had to sell their club. Will Mohammedan be open to selling their clubs off to a private owner completely instead of being a collaboration or a partnership kind of a thing? I don't know, because it's a legacy club and their fans are quite passionate about it.
I mean,
So, yeah.
it's already happened. Look at Mohan Bagan. I mean, in the essence, it's Mohan Bagan, but I think this thing, Goenka Group owns like majority of it right now. so much so that they changed the name to Super Giants along with it. East Bengal, they are trying not to avoid that, but given where they're going, I don't think they'll get a full-scale investment if they give partial ownership to anybody. Because the people who are investing would want to have control over the club because that's their money.
Exactly. If I am giving most of the money to run your club, why would I not want to have the say in it, in their decisions?
Yeah. So it's looking very uncertain. These are like, even the season starting also, these are like, okay, like from like recent news is showing like almost confirmed that is the most likely chance. And even last year, I think we had a rumor that Federation Cup is coming back, and then the last moment they changed, Super Cup itself is coming back. They just change every year. The Super Cup's format is changing. Durand Cup's format is changing. It's very kind of confusing, I guess.
And viewership of the Super Cup is so bad. It's so bad. As if ISL wasn't poor enough.
Yeah.
Super Cup viewership was insanely bad, and I think it's because big names don't play in it, or people just don't take it seriously enough, or people just don't have awareness of what the Super Cup is.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, and this is all of this is, again, we are caveating it by saying that these are not confirmed news yet, but it most likely will. I can say with about 90 to 95% certainty that what we have said will happen. And we haven't still gotten a clarity about if FSDL is still in partnership with the ISL, because their contract expires in December of this year, I think. So we don't know what is going to happen with that. So will the league survive, first of all, for all these teams to play in that league, or will I-League become the big dog again?
Yeah.
That is one question. And again, we haven't we cannot tell you who or how we are getting this information, but yes, most likely the information is true. And then we'll come to the next point of